I don't know what happened. It was just, it just shut me down. Why did it shut me down? I don't know why. I don't know why. Why does it say it's not available? Huh? What's going on? What's going on? I'm very, very confused. Why is it not working, my dear friends? Why is it not working? There should be a stream, and we're back. Okay, I'm glad you can click it. I don't know why. I don't know why, man. I'm just gonna give it 2 seconds, okay, to try and do this again, because this is wild, man. That was kind of a lot, huh? I don't know why it's doing that. Like, it's so strange to my brain, my friends. All right, I just updated the Hatchling clan with the new stream link, just in case anyone wanted to join us. Hi, Kalani. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Patat killed the stream, apparently. I don't know how that happened. Hopefully our girly pop comes back in to get the rest of her reading. I'll keep it up here just in case. That was kind of shitty. I'm not gonna lie. I really hope that they come back, because it would be really sad if they didn't. So please return, my friends, please. Okay, it was a good stream, and then the spirits were like, no, someone didn't want you to know. Someone didn't want me to know. That's why it happens, okay? Dude, I swear to you guys, like, the last few streams that I've had so many technical issues, and I literally don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, it has to be the vibes, man. Too much awesomeness for YouTube, honestly. Like, for real. I don't know why it's so much drama, okay? Like, relax, YouTube. Like, I'm just here having vibes, and you're just mad about the vibes. Why are you shutting me down? But I can't handle, guys. I don't know what to do. Oh, it's so sad. I don't know. The vibes were good, man. And then YouTube was like, no. Or whoever else didn't want the message to be heard. But I'm just gonna, like, do some mermaid messages while we get everybody back. Welcome back, guys. Like, why are you so obsessed with us? Literally, Kalani, like, leave me alone, internet. Oh my god, it's a good welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Good to have you. We just got shut down so hard. We're back trying to get the stream to recover, but that was very sad. So if Di comes back, I will resume her reading with the tarot, with the House of the Dragon tarot. Yes, here's the guidebook for it. So if she comes back, I'll finish her reading. But until then, I'm just gonna pull some, like, mermaid messages. I feel like we need one. Why the heck was the stream canceled? Okay, like, somebody tell me. I need to know. Let me know. I need to know. Tell me why. Okay, it says, listen, the secrets of the sea become apparent when we listen to the sound within the shells and voyage, set sail on a new course. They literally said, the cards literally said the last stream was canceled because we needed to set sail on a new course. I wish I could make that up. It literally says it right here. But it also says, listen, the secrets of the sea become apparent when we listen to the sound within the shells. I want to remind you guys that, like, in this life, like, you can literally interpret anything as a sign. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather, Dr. Dino. 1, 2, 3. No, but oh, and tragic nostalgic. Good to have you here, my friend. But, like, that's something I really need people to understand, that, like, some people get so lost in the sauce about, like, what's a sign and what's not a sign and this, that, and third. And, like, honestly, the truth is like, anything can be a sign. Like, ultimately, you are the one who has the power to decide what is and what is not a sign, if that makes sense. And that's why, like, when I choose to, like, look at the lesson and everything, I choose to look at, like, okay, well, like if this happens, even sometimes the smallest of things, like the way that my cup fell off the table, like, I'll try and interpret the lesson in that, because that's how we gain wisdom. And some people might not see, like, the wisdom in a stream crashing in the middle of it being a really good one, But the truth is that, like, it's just a reminder that, like, energy is powerful, and, like, you know, the universe works in mysterious ways, and, like, if you have eyes that can see and ears that can hear, there will be signs all around you. If only you pay attention. But most people do not know. Most people do not pay attention. Like, most people just don't care. Like, they don't look, they don't open their eyes. You know what I mean? Just notice the nails. They look great. Thank you, Dr. Dino. Welcome back, Emery. It's good to have you back. Oh, that was such a weird ending to that stream. We don't get cut off like that often, but yeah, dude. Anyway, I'm shuffling the deck. Hold on. I think I lost one of the cards in here. Did I? I think I did. I don't know. Did I? Oh, maybe not. But anyway, yeah. Like this, by the way, this deck here that I'm using, this one is called, I'll tell you. This one's called Sea Melodies by Jessica Lee. It's called Enchanting Messages from the Mermaids. I love this deck. It's one of my absolute favorites. And the messages just always slap. It's so good. So if you guys have any questions, do not be afraid to ask for one. The card that just jumped out at us was Safety. It says, don't be too proud to go back to shore. I think we all need to remember, like, it's, like, okay to start over sometimes. Like, and if you need to start over, like, we literally had to start over the stream, like, that's what life is like, too. Like, sometimes your life, you can have, like, you know, this amazing, like, build up to something, and then, like, you feel like you're at the pinnacle of, like, everything good in your world, and then suddenly it crashes, it burns, it shuts out, it blacks out, and then, like, you're, like, feeling like you have to start all over again. And that honestly was, like, my life, too, you know? Like, when I was with, like, one of my exes, I was very convinced I was gonna marry this man. And I wanted to have his kids, like, I wanted to get married to him, like, it was this whole thing. And then he cheated on me, or I found out he was cheating on me, however that works, and it shattered my entire world. Yes, I agree. I have been seeing synchronicity of the number 24. 24 is a good number. I love it. But yeah, dude, like, I literally, it shattered my whole world, and what was I gonna do? Like, allow that to be okay? Like, no. Like, I knew I deserved better than that. I knew I deserved to be number one and the only, because that is all that, you know, that's, like, all that I really, like, deserve. I don't deserve to be second best. I don't deserve to have a partner that walks out on me, like, when I am just so fiercely loyal. Like, I deserved what I brought to the table, too. And, like, I brought, I have Norse mythology tarot deck. Ooh, that sounds awesome. I would love one. But that's just, like, something that, like, I refused. I, like, refused to, you know, succumb to. Like, I didn't want that to be the ending for me. I didn't want that to be the way that it ended. You know what I mean? Welcome back into the stream. It's pretty late, though, so we're kind of just chilling. I think my fiance just got back from the masjid. I think we might stay the night, actually, for Eid. I'm not sure yet, though, but we'll talk about it. We will. Next we pulled is Explore. Maps show what has already been discovered. Go another way. Yeah, I'm hearing that, like, it's really all about, like, that was a really crazy shift, man. Like, we were into something so deep, and now it's just, like, factory reset, like, time to focus on something new, start a new voyage, start a new journey, new perspective, new, like, clean slate, like boom, 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 just like that, you know what I mean? And you have to be able to focus on, you know, what's the word? You have to be able to focus on what matters most for you. And sometimes people have to make mistakes to figure that out, you know what I mean? Like, while I've always loved dragons, I didn't really know how to, like, explore that and express that, like, my whole life. And eventually I had to decide that dragons were real and that I could work with them in witchcraft and magic, and I was never going to deny, like, the experiences that I had when I was a little kid, like, very, very young, that I remember, of my imaginary friends, that, like, that's what the adults called them. But, like, I was really always, like, swimming with dragons when I was a little kid. Like, I've been swimming ever since I was, like, really little, like 1 or 2 years old. I have, like, the nickname Jennyfish. That's, like, one of my nicknames in high school. I was on the swim team. I swam competitively, and I've always felt so connected to dragons and water specifically. And so as I allowed myself to, like, experience that, like, you know, wonder of like, okay, well, what if dragons like are real? And then I started like really deep diving into that. Like, I started realizing that like the majority of dragon myths all around the world are tied to the water, actually, and tied to the ocean, and tied to the rain, and tied to the streams and the ponds and the bodies of water just all over Earth. And I find that so fascinating, because now when you think of dragons, you think of fire, which is honestly very new development. There is one dragon deity in Egyptian mythology called Denwen, who is a serpent like of the element of fire, who the Egyptians shunned because they believed that his fire could destroy the gods, which is something that I really appreciate about like dragon deity mythology, is that like it's not always, okay, because like shout out to China, who just like loves dragons, but like when it comes to like for the majority, like the depiction of dragon deities across the world is associated with very dark, chaotic themes, very much like chaos and like even evil, like for Apep, for example, which is another Egyptian like serpent, which is like the rival of Ra. But like Apep was so all-powerful that like Ra couldn't even face Apep every night on his own. So when the sun went down, it was believed that the god of Ra, or the sun god Ra, had to battle Apep, which was the god of darkness, chaos, and evil. And he couldn't face Apep alone, you know what I mean? That's why I love Leviathan. Leviathan is another one that's on that same theme, right? It's about the darkness, it's about the abyss, right? Like, as far as I understand Leviathan, like Leviathan's mouth is the entrance to hell, right? So that's awesome. Okay, we love dragons on this channel. I also pulled Dance, which it says take inspiration from the moonlight dancing on the surface of the sea. And if you ask me, that's kind of like, that's kind of like dragon energy. You know what I mean? Like being so in tune with just the natural world that the way you observe things, you know? It like moves you in a way. It like changes, you know, the way that you're experiencing things. And you're only going to be able to have these shifts in your life if you allow yourself to, you know, notice the details. If you allow yourself to stop and look for the lessons within your everyday life. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I just like, I think that's why it's a saying, stop and smell the roses. Ow, I just kicked one of my tarot decks. That sucked. It's also like, what's the word? It's also, I think, where like the phrase like stop to smell the roses comes from, because it's like if you don't stop to like observe your reality and look at the tiny little details of everything, like what's actually gonna happen for you, right? Like you're just gonna like go through your life on autopilot, and that's not fun, is it? So there's that. I feel like that's kind of the overall vibe from the mermaids. We also have protection. It says keep some aquamarine close. Mermaid's tears have been known to create these precious gems. I'm hearing that like allow yourself to cry about what makes you not feel safe, and then when you feel like you have truly allowed yourself to drop into that experience of surrendering to your emotions, surrendering to your experience of like sometimes it's traumatic, sometimes it's just your fear, sometimes it's like, you know, conflict that is scary, or social anxiety. It could be even the smallest of things. But if you allow yourself to really sit with that energy and really understand it and allow yourself to cry, you're going to amaze yourself by how it feels like you improved yourself like light years in a minute or in 10 minutes, right? You know, sometimes it's like living a year in a day when we do this, right? And this is a practice I do with my dragon guardians, because they tell me that true dragons cry. They're not afraid to cry. Why is that? Because it is alchemy, and I will literally die on this hill. Like, it's emotional alchemy to cry, because it turns your pain into peace, or pain into power, or sometimes both. And everybody needs to understand that they are capable of transmuting the shitty things they've been into, the shitty things they've been through, into what they wish to experience the most. But first you have to believe, and the only way that's going to happen is if you allow yourself to feel it. If you allow yourself to feel your heartbreak, feel your terror, feel your regret, feel your grief, feel your insert any negative emotion you're avoiding, honestly, because that's what's going to create a sense of safety within you, because then you're not dependent on this energy anymore. You're not dependent on avoiding the feelings. You're not chasing a way to figure out how to like fix it in like 2 seconds. But like, that's not how this works. Like, the only way out is through. And don't ever like underestimate like how valuable of like an effort it is. I think a lot of people don't realize how valuable they become when they take the effort to go within themselves, if that makes sense. Mr. Nipster. Is that my dad? Are you on your other account? Sorry. Anyway, it says, in the never-ending story, it's the black wolf, Gormuk, who is the dark energy and chaos. The white dragon, Falkor, is the luck or good energy. Yes, I love that depiction a lot, because the never-ending... Yep. Hi, Dad. I literally love that. Yay, Di made it back. I'll jump back into your reading. I have it saved here for you so I can finish it. But I love the never-ending story, Dad, because like it reminds me of like one of my like main dragon guardians, the first dragon I ever met, Monte, which is an angel dragon. It really reminds me of that. Where were you? I jumped on here immediately, and then like I was trying to figure out like why like I couldn't click the video on my page, and then I had to like copy the link and send it to, I don't know, weird things are happening, okay? I don't know why. But anyway, I digress. You will find that in Chinese mythology, like the dragons will be the protagonists, meaning that they will be like basically the gods that were worshipped. They were considered the benevolent forces. They were considered guardians and protectors. They brought luck, auspicious energy. They brought fortune. They brought the rain. They brought abundance. They brought life. You know what I mean? So it's super beautiful, right? Because then like you go into like, for example, like Norse mythology, right? And then like all the dragons in Norse mythology are very dark, very interesting energy, like in the sense of like very mysterious, very hard to understand, and feared, shunned, even like, you know, what's the word, ridiculed, right? So you got Fafnir, which is the dwarf that was turned into the dragon to hoard his all of his treasure, because he was so greedy, right? His greed turned him into a dragon to protect his hoard. And then you have Jormungandr, who is the Midgard serpent, who is this giant serpent that was thrown into the ocean that got so big it eventually had to eat its own tail, and it's apparently going to awaken and battle Thor for Ragnarok. But we don't know too much about that, because the Christians really love to like rewrite those myths, don't they? They just love to put their pens where it doesn't belong. And then we have Nidhogger, okay? And that is literally the serpent that eats the decaying like roots of the Yggdrasil tree. So I'm just like, bro. You know, like I love how like contrasting you'll find it, right? But anyway, I'm just going to step up. It says, it reminded me of my brother who had his birthday yesterday. It was his favorite movie. Which brother, Dad? Like David? David, Tim, or Tuck? Which one? Here's my question. What do I do with my spiritual knowledge? I will definitely pull a card for you right after I finish Di's reading, Tim. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That means a lot to me that it was Tim's favorite movie. He would love a dragon movie, wouldn't he, Dad? Dang. May he rest in paradise. So where we left off for you, Di, before we got interrupted here, was we have the reverse 5 of blades. And we were pretty much talking about your ex before we got so rudely interrupted. And basically what I was getting is that like you're gonna have to sit with that energy, okay, before you literally like move forward, okay? By the way, I'm doing a study about Joseph Smith. Yes, maybe you could help me with it. Yes, I was raised Mormon. I can absolutely help you with that. So please email me. I would love to get in contact with you. My dear sister friend. It says like, okay, with this in particular, I'm getting a sense of you have tried to open the wound, right? You've tried to, you know, unpack your feelings and your love that you still have about your ex, and it scares you because like it's your ex, like why do you still love them, right? And in doing so, you've broken some of the blades trying to rip open that very tough shell that's like wrapped so tightly around those tender parts of you. And the truth is that persevere in opening that shell. Be kind to yourself in that process, because you're going to feel raw. You're going to feel like you're bleeding all over the place, okay? You're gonna feel like you're falling apart, but I'm gonna need you to understand how worth it is gonna be the more that you focus on feeling those feelings. Like why were you in love with this person? Like, what were you in love with this person for? What did they do for you that maybe you feel like you're missing now? Ask yourself, was I in love with the actual person, or was I actually in love with a fantasy? Am I struggling so much to get over it because I was so young? Would he ever contact me? I mean, it's a possibility, right? Like, anything's a possibility. But the truth is, I think the real question is, do you even want that? Like, do you even want to have that kind of a like chaotic storm of feelings, like, for him to reach out to you, right? Because, like, you said that you love the relationship you're in now, which is why I highly recommend that you genuinely, like, maybe try and, like, schedule some time either regularly throughout, like, you know, pick like one day of the week over like a month, like 30 days, and just try and, like, give yourself, like, you know, 30 minutes to an hour to just, like, disconnect and tune in to, like, how you feel about it, journal about it, like. And sometimes it's not going to work right away, and I'm going to need you to be so nice to yourself when it doesn't work right away, because that's how we start, right? You got to, like, take baby steps sometimes, and, like, you got to be easy with yourself about that. Also, how is it possible I'm more in love with my current partner, but this ex still crosses my mind? Because of how young you were, right? Like, you and I have had a very similar path. Like, I had an ex when I was very young, way younger than I should have been. Shout out to my dad who knew that, and everybody else was in denial about it. And, like, I really was still, like, your brain was still developing, okay? And, like, you having this relationship while your brain was still developing, like, created an attachment within your mind because of how young you were. Like, that's when we form, like, you know, bonds with who we believe we're supposed to be. And a lot of the times during those formative years of our lives, the people who we're with, the experiences that we have during that energy literally shape the way that we experience our life for the rest of our life. Do you understand? Like, it's so important, okay? Like, I need you to understand immediately and expeditiously, okay, that it is so within the realm of possibility for you to be in love with your current partner and still think about your ex and it mean nothing, okay? Like, and I will seriously wake up from dreams where they feel like nightmares now, but it's literally just me, like, cuddling with an ex, and it's like, why? And it's simply because it was your first experience, and your brain was so young and impressionable and full of hormones developing into an adult that it was probably more so intense, more so. That's why they say young love, it's so, like, raw, whatever, right? Because it's just a part of your journey, and the second you start, like I said earlier, like, you can't shame yourself into getting better, bestie. Like, you can't be like, you know, oh, I'm having a flashback that maybe, you know, is coming from, like, trauma, or coming from, like, trying to experience, like process my grief of losing somebody. I just saw a shooting star. Mashallah. Okay, no, but, like, for real, like, sometimes it's just about, like, allowing yourself to hold yourself, processing that, and not judge yourself for it. Like, you know, like, I still think about my ex sometimes. I'll have those dreams about my ex sometimes, and then I'll wake up, like, next to, like, my fiance, and I'm just like, why do I feel like I cheated on him? Like, why do I feel like that was terrible? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I'm a shitty, like, fiance, like I'm not worthy of being a wife because, like, I can't get over this, or have I gotten over this? I thought I did get over this, right? Like, Patat can't handle it, right? So these thoughts are gonna go through your head, and it's like none of your fault. It's like not your fault. It's like never your fault, okay? Like, it's just naturally part of the process. You know what I mean? It's just part of the process. Like, that's all. OMG, yes, thank you. Yay! Whoa, I didn't expect a shout out for that. Of course, Dad, you knew way more than anyone gave you credit for. I love how they depicted the dragon in the show Merlin. I've never seen the show. I'll definitely have to look it out. This is so relatable, lol. It's so true. Tim Rivera, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. No, Patat fell again. But anyway, thank you for letting me read for you, Dai, even though it was separated between 2 videos. It's kind of wild that, like, we got so, like, rudely interrupted by the internet for the last one, but hey, my brother, sister, friend, it's just a theory. A game theory, okay? I'm getting ready to go to work while listening to you. Yay! Have fun doing your daily stuffs. And I hope this is a good get ready stream, even though it's like absolutely almost 1 a.m. for me. I am genuinely just hanging out. I'm having fun, guys. That's all. This card doesn't. There we go. It's a little bit of a problem here. This is a new deck for me too. I haven't like used this one too terribly much. I recently got it from Barnes & Noble. I thought it was a little interesting. I like saw the like dragon egg part of it. Like there's like a dragon egg suit in it and it looks so cool, guys. Like this deck is so cool. Hold on, I have to show you. Like, see? There's like 4 of dragons. Okay. Purchase the deck. That's pretty much what happened. It was it's just how that works. 3:33 a.m. for me. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So if anyone here, I'll read what this says. We have the Queen of Blades. Queen of Blades. This is a collective poll, okay? So if anyone has questions, feel free to ask. This is a free reading, okay? Like free readings. But here we go. We have the Queen of Blades. I should be sleeping, but I'm not tired. The stupid time changes always mess me up for weeks. Dude, same, Dad. Oh my gosh. It's been brutal. Brutal, absolutely brutal. We like woke up and we were like, wait a minute. Why does it feel so much like earlier than it is? It was really sad. Unfortunately. We almost were late to many things. That's where I got my profile name. Oh, that's cool. It's a really beautiful name, by the way. Queen of Blades. Let's see what it says. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Queen of Blades. Okay. So we have upright. This fair queen minces no words and inspires keen perception in addition to a flexible voice of reason. Say what you mean around this queen. There will be no suffering of fools here, no matter how sharp their minds are. This is a trustworthy person to approach for honest insight or advice you have not been able to find elsewhere. This card is a clear sign that you feel confident when you approach this person. They will steer you well. So I'm hearing that everybody's going through a lot of shifts right now. But I need you to understand that your intuition knows there are people in your life or a person in your life in particular that brings you comfort, that brings you that they make you feel seen, right? They make you feel like you're home, okay? And like, I need you to lean into trusting this person. And I know that's going to be the scariest thing for you maybe ever in your life, but don't forget that human beings are social creatures. Yeah, that means you need social connections or your brain is going to start rotting and you're going to start dying. Like, I didn't make the rules, okay? But maybe try just a little bit to try and make some friends, okay? Like, even if it's online, you got to start somewhere, okay? And like the person and people that maybe you're thinking of that you feel home around, that you feel close to, like spend time with them and push yourself out of your comfort zone to be vulnerable sometimes, but like, you know, use your discernment and what you can, like what you should share with people, right? Like, I'm not telling you to spill your secrets to people. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's okay to be a little vulnerable. Like, maybe it's okay to share, like, hey, I had a hard day, and like not play like the perfect, like, I'm okay game, you know? That's what we do in this life. And I'm hearing, look at the bottom of the deck as well. Yeah, we have the 4 of Tankards in reverse. Let's see what it says. Let us see, because this is such a fun deck, by the way. Bum, bum, bum. the Four of Tankards. I don't normally read reverse, right? But sometimes I do. It just depends. It says, setting aside time for introspection and renewal is necessary. You do not owe anyone your time or attention, but be mindful of closing yourself off to an existence that could move you closer to your goal. At the very least, check in and let them know if you need time to consider. Yeah, so I'm hearing like it's important for you to remind yourself to show up for what you want to in this life, but remember how special and sacred and important your energy is, and guard that shit, because like not everybody is worthy and deserving of your presence, of your care, of your energy, of your time, your love, your anything, okay? And this is why I feel like this card came forward. The person that you thought of when you think of the person that makes you feel home, when you think of the person that gives you a sense of comfort, that makes you feel seen and heard and like you can be yourself, I'm gonna need you to allow yourself to, you know, kind of like open up and pour a little bit out of your cup for them, right? I had an experience of that comfort person last a few weeks ago. That's exciting. Right on time then. The card that I pulled was the Tankard one. Hold on. It says, there was one thing that I wanted to touch upon. It says, yeah, the whole entire part of like the introspection, right? Like it's really hard to like sit with ourselves and like think about like how we feel and prioritize like grieving and prioritize like anxiety, like feeling the anxiety, understanding it, you know, like leaning into the depression, how did we get here type of thing. And it's almost impossible to allow yourself to do this without having a support system that you can lean on. Most people can't do that by themselves. I don't recommend it because people lose their lives that way. Like I said, we are a social species. Like you need to be able to, what's the word? You need to be able to have connections. It's incredibly important. Like this is why I also am a huge advocate for joining the Hatchling Clan Discord server if you have nowhere to start in terms of finding a community, because there's over 300 of us over there and so many beautiful souls are always chatting, always adding their perspective, their magic, their faith, and even their religions too. And it's just a beautiful conversation, and we just look out for each other because that's what matters in this life. And I need you to allow yourself to believe that it's possible if you don't have a person that you feel safe with, that it is possible for you. And sometimes the only way you're gonna get there is by pouring out the beliefs of why do you feel like you're not worthy of being loved? Why do you feel like you're not worthy of having community? Why do you feel like you're not worthy of having close friendships? Where did it come from? Like, who did it come from? And who does it benefit when you allow yourself to be governed by these belief systems, right? Like for me, when I allowed myself to be small and feel like I didn't have, like I wasn't worth having people who loved and cherished me, like, you know who that benefited? The people who were abusing me. You know who that benefited? The people who were leeching off of me. You know who that benefited? The people who were belittling me and using me as their punching bag to feel better. And the second that I decided I deserved better, the second that I decided I wanted more, was the second that they hammered back at me. They like literally took their sledgehammer, was like, oh yeah, bitch, and they went, poof, and then I had to choose to keep going anyway. I was like, no, actually, I really don't deserve this, especially when you being like that. That's wild. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like, now that I'm in a safe space, I have to pour those cups out. Like, I survived some really dark shit. Holy crap, I'm still alive. Is that like, it's kind of like, you know, when they test the mic, they tap the mic, they're like, is this thing on? I have to like knock on my head and be like, is this thing on? Because like, I don't know if I'm still breathing. Like, am I hallucinating? I don't know what's going on. But like, when I put myself in the position where I have to pour out these feelings, like if I do it alone, I make sure that after I process those feelings, I have like, you know, people I can go to. And before I had people who I can go to, I had to pour out the feelings to ask myself, what are the kind of people that I deserve, right? Like, what are the kind of people that I actually want to have around in my life? Like, what are the kind of connections that I desire? Like, do I like the way I'm being treated right now? Because if the answer was no, and it was, I was like, yeah, we gotta do something about this. You know what I mean? I didn't deserve that. Never deserved that at all. You know, and either do you guys. You just don't. You know what I mean? I have moments where I do that. Exactly, Carlin. I have family and friends that make me feel comfortable to tell them anything. Yes, lean into those people. They are your people. You know what I mean? Like, I have not ever really felt like I belonged anywhere, right? And till I met my fiance. Like, he is as weird, wackadoodle donkey bananas as I am, okay? And just because, like, you know, we don't share, like, you know, the same beliefs and everything, right? Like, he thinks my dragon guardians are a little goofy, but, like, he, like, makes fun of them with me, and, like, he's not judging me about it, right? He's not making fun of me about it, right? He's, like, being, like, cute in a way where he calls me his, like, his, he calls me his baby dragon, basically, like, his little dragon, and it's, like, or, like, it's really sweet, honestly. And, like, I feel like I'm able to be my geeky, cheeky, and freaky self around him. And he will mirror that, right? Like, if I make weird noises, he's gonna make weird noises back at me. Ooh, look what we got. We got the devil, okay? The devil. Dun, 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 dun. The scary devil. Okay. What does it say, my dear friends? The devil, I feel like, is something that we are facing together a little bit. Okay, so we have Prince Aegon II Targaryen. The devil of the deck has two captives bound by their own fears and doubts. Convinced of his mother's disappointment in him, Prince Aegon II Targaryen projects his self-hatred onto others through defiance and abuse. He is the only one who keeps himself chained to these beliefs. He thinks nothing of the frustration, fury, and misery it leaves in his wake. And upright, it says, like Aegon, your fears and doubts are preventing you from fulfilling your highest possible potential. While it's essential to understand and incorporate our darker urges into our holistic sense of self, it's key to know when to give in to temptation and when to soar above it. And that's what life is, you guys. Life is literally a balancing act. Like, it's a balance between your shadows and your shining. Like, it's a balance between the darkest night of the soul and the most brilliant rainbowy light day. Like, it's about bringing those into harmony and knowing when to move left and when to move right and when to walk the straight path and when to walk the spiral path. And that is the difference, right? Like, if you force yourself so rigidly to be like just light, or you force yourself so rigidly to just be an edgelord all about the dark shit, like, you're going to be out of balance. You're only going to get 50% right at best, which is also a fail on your report card. And I just really need you to understand how important it is to hold space for both your darkness and your light, because when you don't, you become Aegon Targaryen. You become a prison of your own mind. You become a prison of your own preconceived ideas of what you think people are doing to you. And I used to think that my fiance was, like, literally cruel to me, and it was because of the way that I was perceiving reality. And I had to, like, ask him, like, what are you thinking when you, like, speak this way? Because, like, my brain says one thing, and I was like, if this isn't real, can you kind of give me a reality check? Like, what's actually going through your mind? And he's just like, literally none of that. It's just kind of like, you know, like, sometimes I don't always feel like I have the energy to, like, completely, like, do, what's it called? Like, completely do the right tone of voice or whatever. It's like a lazy response, for example, or I'm tired or this or that, you know what I mean? So, by the way, my first intuition that you were becoming Muslim was September 2023 when you came out. I have to admit that I had to go through a lot of different emotions, but then I remembered that my mom was. Your mom? Wait, what? Wait, Dad, are you telling me that my grandma was Muslim? That's not right. I have a feeling you're still typing, so that I'm gonna have to reread that. Okay. It says, me and my boyfriends are now, every time I am off, we watch creepypasta stories. We're flying high. No, see, but, like, finding something that you can, like, connect with people about, finding something that, like, you enjoy together, like, is really important. Okay, so we got the rest of the story. Okay, but then I remembered that my mom was the first one in her family to become Mormon, and then I remember your mom did the same after she married me, and then it seemed like you don't have done something like you and my mom. Ooh, we're getting the family lore right now. I love this. I love the family lore. Thanks, Dragon Father. But yeah, guys, like, I can't lie to you, like it's something something crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I've been to like every kind of church that there is, right? Like, think of like the Abrahamic religions, right? And now think of all of the like holy buildings that they have, right? So like, I've been to like, except maybe the Mormon temple, that's like probably it, but like, I've been to like churches, I've been to cathedrals, I've been to synagogues, I've been to all of it, and none of it could compare to a masjid, which is like the holy building of Muslims. Beautiful, beautiful language, beautiful humans, beautiful experience. I'm living for it, right? And like, I owe it all to the Palestinians. Like, a lot of people think that I reverted to Islam because of my fiance being Muslim. No, I found Islam through the Palestinian suffering, and me learning about Islam, me diving into it and reading the English version of the Quran inspired my fiance to learn again, because he was raised with it, kind of had some trauma with it, didn't fully understand it because he wasn't taught the English version of the Quran, he was taught the Arabic version. And now we're kind of relearning together, and it's Ramadan right now, and it's been such a beautiful experience for me to go to the masjid. I was adopted by the local masjid, like, they literally love me, and I'm like overwhelmed because I've never had like community like this, right? So mashallah, this is just crazy experience for me, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys, because I have been basically, you know, in the closet for so long, and I just want to be myself, okay? Like, I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about before I hopped on here, and I wanted to make sure that I, you know, had like the practice under my belt, and like, you know, I had enough experience and enough wisdom that I could like talk about it, you know? I didn't want to feel like I was being disrespectful. So anyway, and then it just seemed kind of a natural thing. I came to peace with it. Aw, thanks, Dad. That really means a lot to me. 'Cause like, honestly, like, out of all my family members, like, you're the one who I care the most about, like, their opinions, and how like I'm like perceived, I guess, just because like growing up I've just always been the closest to you, Dad. So it's like, you know, I was like, I've already been getting so much hate like for just coming out about it, and like, I just would have simply passed away if I received that from you too, Dad. So I'm really grateful that you've come to peace with it, because I've been scared to talk about it with you, not gonna lie. But we love you, Dad. Thank you so much for like sharing that with me, because it like really reminds me that like, I really do feel like I'm walking in the footsteps of all of the women in my like family line that came before me, Dad. Like, I don't know if I've talked like on the channel recently about it, but I've been really trying to reconnect with my ancestors, like, especially like, you know, my ancestors from like Wales, my ancestors from England, my ancestors from Ireland in particular, and the more that I tune in with this, the more that I feel like with each step I take, it's so much more similar to all of the women that came before me in my bloodline than I ever realized. And your message just kind of really nailed that in the head. Yes, we were very close, and I believe others trying hard to break the connection we had. Of course, Dad, like, of course, like, people are weirdos. But who has the last laugh, right, Dad? Because, like, we're still so close. Are you able to be open about dragons and magic at the masjid? I'm genuinely curious because I don't know much about most Abrahamic practices, and I know each community and church mosque all have differences. Yeah, Kaden, let's talk about it. So I've been open a little bit about the witchcraft, and I mean, since I've become like Muslim, my craft has just changed a little, right? But it's kind of interesting because the more that I spend time with like the Muslim community, and you know, learning about like some of these kids that like are at the masjid have like been going for like over 10 years, and like some of them like have parts of the Quran, if not the entire thing, memorized, and like, oh my gosh, I just literally feel like so inferior to these kids that just like have this stuff memorized. And like, mashallah, you guys are like actual superheroes. That's crazy. And you know, talking to them about it, I'm more coming to realize that we define things differently through the way that we view the world, right? So the Muslims pretty much exclusively view the dragons that I work with as jinn, which really fascinates me. And most of them like call Pickle Chips just a good Muslim jinn because he's the one who's like really pushing me to study the Abrahamic religions. They're like, that sounds like a Muslim jinn to us, which I was like, what the heck does that mean? You know? So that's really fascinating. And then when I talked to my sisters and, you know, some of the scholars about like what they perceive witchcraft is, the way that Muslims define witchcraft is so different than the way that the witches and the pagans define witchcraft. So funny enough, my dear friends, the literal like my brothers and sisters at the masjid, they don't like even see me as a witch because of like how they define it. Oh, it's so mind-blowing, you guys. Like I just don't understand sometimes. I'm like really trying to wrap my head around it because it's like, it's really just kind of like, I guess culture shock is the word I would use. But they have honestly been really supportive. They've been just full of questions and they're like really curious in a way that like I never expected. I have only experienced like shame and like don't ask questions from like the Abrahamic religions when I went to their holy buildings. Like I wasn't able to have these conversations, and it's incredibly encouraged to have conversations like this in the masjid. And it's because if I have a question about anything in the Quran, if I have a question about anything, I am encouraged to go to the scholars, I'm encouraged to go to the imam, I'm encouraged to go to the like auntie elders and ask them questions, and they will always provide me an answer. And that is what I love about Islam. That could just never happen in Christianity. I could never ask questions growing up like to the sisters in the like, you know, like after the like after the preacher like gave his sermon or whatever, we would go to these like classes, and I remember going to like the girls class, right? And when I asked, I was never allowed to like, they would like interpret me as like questioning the scripture, and I'm like, I'm just trying to comprehend the scripture, it's very different. Like, please don't be an asshole. But they were. Okay. And so that's kind of like what really pushed me far away from that. But like I like just ever since I was a little girl really remember like loving God. That's like always been a thing, right? It says my best friend that's like a brother to me is Afghani and Pakistani. He's always has amazing conversations with me about our faith. Yeah, I love that, Tim. That's so cool. Dude, mashallah, I love talking about faith with people. I totally get it. There's so much nuance to how we define witchcraft. It definitely reminds me of how, depending on your mother tongue, your brain sees color differently. Yeah, that's crazy, actually. Because, like, I just, like, think that most of the issues that we see in the world today stem from a fundamental lack of understanding each other and a fundamental lack of education on just humanity. Like, and it's just really stressful that the government that I live under, unfortunately, is trying to be like, let's ban diversity, let's ban the word inclusivity, blah, blah, blah. See, Patat can't even handle it. It's that stupid. And, you know, that's kind of something that's been stressing me out. But, like, I choose to show up in a way where I can provide, you know, a safe space for people instead. I can't allow myself to catastrophize things, because then I will become complacent and ineffective at trying to make a difference and trying to help people, right? Like, so all I'm here to really do is just inspire you to be hopeful, right? Because horrible, horrible, horrible things have happened on this world, on this planet, and the sun will still rise again. The sun will still rise again. And, you know, don't forget that, like, as much as humans like to try and play God, like, and try and, like, dominate nature, like, it's just an illusion, okay? Like, we're never going to be able to fight back nature. We're never going to be able to, you know, like, what's the word? Own it, right? We can't own something that we are a part of, right? Like, we are of the earth, right? We don't own the earth, okay? Please. What's the difference between dragon guardians and spirit guides? They're kind of the same thing. The only difference is that the dragons are just dragon spirit guides. That's it. Some people experience dragons much differently, right? Like, so some people don't even believe dragons are real. They simply work with the symbolism of them, right? So they'll work with like the symbolism of, like, you know, like the Ouroboros, which is the dragon eating, the serpent eating its own tail, right? The life, death, rebirth, they'll work with that instead. So everybody kind of has their own definition, to be honest, but like the best way I can describe Dragon Guardian in the most, like, I guess, like, kindergarten way is to say, like, look at Mushu from Mulan. That's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, but that's kind of like super lame, but like also the best way that I could describe it is like, you know, like literally the never-ending story. That's kind of like what it feels like too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Is like always having like a presence by you that's like larger than life has honestly been my experience, even when the dragons are small. And the difference between a regular spirit guide, I guess you could say, is that like they're not as grandiose. They don't feel as like awe-inspiring and powerful, I guess, in my experience, right? But because everybody experiences this kind of thing differently, you know, and some people might experience dragons in a very scary way. They might experience them in a very, like, demonic way, if you will. But it really just depends, you know what I mean? Everybody's different. My dragons let me refer to them as imaginary friends for now, so they can be known to my family while I teach them about my spirit team. Ooh, clever. I love that. That's so clever. But I don't know, man, like, this world is very, very fascinating. There's so much more than meets the eye. I think that the second that we start saying, like, hey, one way is, like, what's the word? The second we start saying, like, my way is the truth and your way is wrong, is the second that we start killing each other, and the second that we, you know, hurt people, and the second that we lose the plot. And that's why I really always will get on this channel to encourage people to literally go touch grass, literally go look in a mirror, and honestly just remind you, yet, like, let he who has no sin cast the first stone, which is none of you, by the way. Like, all of you have, like, things that you're not proud of. Like, all of you have, like, ways that you can improve. Like, we all have imperfections. We all have flaws. Like, we should focus on those instead of, like, what somebody else's flaws are. Like, you know how, like, horrible you would feel if your flaws were exposed for everybody to gawk at and laugh at and point the finger at. So lower your gaze from other people's shortcomings. It's not our place to put people down for what they struggle with. It's our place to help lift each other up. That's what makes humanity so special. And we can literally be angels on earth, or we can be devils on earth, or we can be complacent little blobs somewhere in between. But, like, the truth is like, no one can know for sure, which is why, even though, like, I am Muslim, even though, like, I am very a religious person now, like, I'm never gonna get on this channel and tell you that you need to convert. I'm never gonna get on this channel and say, oh, I found the truth and join my way. Like, I'm not interested, okay? Like, I don't like it. It's not for me, okay? Like, some people, more power to them. That's awkward and weird. Sometimes it's really scary, actually, but, like, it's just, like, I just want to, like, talk about, like, what I experience and share my experience, because pretty much everyone in my life doesn't get it, right? Like, I got people who get bits and pieces of it, but, you know, when I come here online, I actually meet people who sometimes get the whole entire picture, and it makes me feel like I'm not like alone, and it makes me feel like I'm not the only one who's, you know, experiencing the things that I am. You know, I finally caught alive. Yay! Welcome, Avalon, to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. My mom loves the movie Spirited Away. Yes. And I describe my Monte as the dragon from it. Agreed. Ooh, yes. Tragic, nostalgic. Brilliance. Brilliance. That's kind of how I described my dragon guardian to my fiance as well. You know? And I was like telling him like a little bit about what Spirited Away means. And for those of you guys who don't know, Spirited Away like literally means like getting lost in the spirit world, like, or being taken by a spirit, and then you're nowhere to be found. So I think it's one of my favorite movies for sure. And I literally, I like have so many things to say about how Spirited Away is like one of the best movies to ever describe what it's like to have a dragon guardian. I will definitely have like an actual like YouTube upload, like an official upload, not like a live or a short, like about it, because I'm so passionate about that movie, and because of like just how interconnected it is with like the dragon guardian part of it. And you know, I think that people are really missing out when, like, at least in their life, and I could just be biased here, but I think people are really missing out when they don't look at like religion and faith and belief systems, and they don't look at, you know, people's experiences with that, right? Like when people don't look at the unseen, when people don't wonder about an afterlife, or how people face death, or how, you know, short this life really is. People just kind of mechanically move through it, and I really feel like people are missing out on such a precious gift when they don't focus on, you know, when they don't focus on learning about just how we're so uniquely like faith, like we're so driven by our belief systems as human beings, and like our faith literally moves mountains for us and moves us in a way that like is so uniquely human. And I just gotta say that like out of everything in this life, like everything in the universe, everything in creation, being human will always be the greatest gift I have ever received. Always. Oh, assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, Sean? It's been a while. It has been a while. I officially identify as an unemployed potato. Ahmed, this is my unemployed potato. Do you love him? His name is Patat. Patat. I love him so much. He's so cute. I can't even. Like, he's just so... Why is he so cute? Why is he rocking out? Oh my gosh. Party. Patat is partying. I can't. He's too cute. I'm gonna lose my mind. I have cute aggression for things. Okay, it's too much. And he says hello. Hello. But yeah, dude. Alhamdulillah, dude. Yeah, I'm doing good. We've been I've just been kind of streaming after we went to the masjid for Ramadan. I hope you're having a wonderful Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak. Oh no, we lost him again. But yeah, we've just been having a lot of fun, and we learned about is it called itikaf? Oh, I'm so trying. But it's basically when you like do the spiritual seclusion in remembrance of Allah. We were learning about that at the masjid yesterday. And we like, cause my fiance and I didn't really like know about that, like, cause we're still like studying and learning a little bit, but because we didn't know about that, like we didn't really have time to like prepare like on like the business side of like things. So we won't be able to do I think it's called istikaf. Is that what it's called? I just have to make sure, because I don't want to butcher that. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing these as properly as possible. I think it's called istikaf. Hold on. It's the last 10 days of Ramadan. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, I think it's a really beautiful day, like going into seclusion and cutting like yourself off from everything else to just like immerse yourself in the remembrance of Allah. I hope you're not having too much fried food at iftar. No, but my fiance is. He literally ate so much, like tonight, that he was like driving me home before they did Tarawih because I'm like not feeling well. And they literally, on the way home, he's just like burping so much because he ate so much. I'm like, no, that's so sad. It's called itikaf, yeah. Which involves staying in the masjid or dedicated prayer space to focus on worship and highly encourage the last 10 days of Ramadan. Yeah, so we learned about that yesterday. I would love to learn more about it and do it next Ramadan. Inshallah. Girl, it's fine. I know 3 languages and I mess them up always. No, that's so much fun. Tim, do you dream in different languages or do you like only dream in your dominant language? I'm really curious about that. Ramadan Mubarak, and make sure to drink more water in sahur time. Fibrous food like banana, smoothie, and don't forget the yogurt. If you got watermelon, that's even more better. Oh, thank you. That's great advice, honestly. This is like my fiance and I, our first time really trying, like actually practicing Ramadan, like willingly, right? Like, so the last time that he practiced Ramadan was when he was a little boy and he like was like basically just told to do it by his mom. And then for me, my first Ramadan in 2024, I had no idea what I was doing and I was still learning as a Muslim, so I didn't have like a masjid to go to, and at the time my fiance wasn't like a practicing Muslim. He was still kind of like on the fence about it, and then so I didn't observe it that time, and then this year he's practicing, I'm practicing, and we're really just interested in doing our best. My wife loves pakoras, lol. I don't like fried food at all. No way, dude. I'm obsessed with pakoras. They're so good. I dream in different languages, but I wake up to my main language before remembering the other 2. Whoa. Dude, that is so cool. Hold on. You just fried my brain. Deep fried like pakora. It says it is itikaf. I'm which you stay for 3 to 10 days, worshipping and contemplating. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you. Thank you, mashallah. Oh, I dream in English and Urdu, both. LOL, sometimes even in Arabic. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Mashallah, I'm happy for you. Thank you, Ahmed. That means so much. Do you still identify as Dragonkin? Yes, I do, Avalon. I am just like the way I polarize people. I'm so serious. Yes, I am a Dragonkin who identifies as Muslim. That's awkward. If you need any help, I can tell my wife to get in touch with you. Oh my goodness, that would be so sweet. That would be so sweet. Hold on. Where's my phone? Let me drop in the chat what my email is. Unless she has an Instagram, she can message me there too, because like I don't want to we had like a stream like get fried earlier where like it literally just shut down on us, and I'm a little traumatized because like I want to make sure that everybody gets the things, but it won't even let me view things. There we go. So here we go. It says my email is Azura DragonFeather. Azura DragonFeather at official. Wow, I'm struggle busing. OFFICIAL because I cannot spell at gmail.com. Okay, I hope that's right. Is there a dragon feather? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's the email that works. There we go. Okay, my spirit team and I have been arguing this past week. Really? I personally don't interfere with the spirit team arguing. I let them argue with each other. Then I get popcorn. I'm so serious. Okay. I like your dragon. Thank you. His name is Patat. Patat. He's so cute. He likes to hang out. He's slowly turning into the channel mascot. I'm pretty sure he is. Would you ever get any more tattoos? Yeah, if I do get another tattoo, I will get Keisha's paw print. which is my late cat who passed away. And I will probably get Allah on my arm right here. So I have Allah on my right arm, and then I have the witchcraft on my left arm, because I walk a right and a left-handed path. So that's kind of where I'm at. Will I actually follow through with that? I don't know, because I don't know. Okay. If you're ever in the UK, I'd love to tattoo you. Oh my gosh, you tattoo? Bruh. That would be amazing, honestly. Fun fact, actually, the only tattoos that I do have were done by Kimmy Tan. If you don't follow her, you definitely should, because she calls her audience the Dragon Clan. What? Kimmy Tan and the Dragon Clan? Come on, man. Like, you gotta go subscribe. She's awesome. Tell her that Azura Dragonfeather sent you, that you love the tattoos. She's phenomenal. I love her so much, right? Oh my gosh, yeah. So she did my pentacle tattoo, Avalon. Kimmy Tan did this one. Hells yeah. And I also have a smiley face on my leg that she did as well. A witch who can't spell belongs on the island of unwanted toys, Dad. Hanging out with Rudolph and the elf who want to be a dentist. Oh my gosh, it's so funny you say that, Dad, because like I describe the Hatchling clan like the island of misfit toys, because like we're literally all like misfits in our own life, that the only way we fit together is like within like community with each other. So that made me giggle. Me and my boyfriend have my own studio. What? That's amazing. They are fighting for my next stage of journey. Yeah, that's how that goes, huh, Tim? Totally our own. Oh, that's cool though. I got you. Yeah. Your boyfriend just gets to hang out sometimes. It's yours. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, dude, that's really cool. I was one of those girlies as a little kid who was like, I'm gonna open up a tattoo restaurant with like a stage where you can perform, you can eat, and you can get a tattoo. And needless to say, that is just so many health violations. So that dream died pretty hard. Now we're pursuing the music. Now we're pursuing the social media thing. We are inshallah gonna try and get on some podcasts and you know talk to some of the Muslim community and just have an open conversation. I would love to get into some debates. If any podcast bros wanna invite me, I will absolutely win all of the debates. I'm very confident in this. Inshallah, I have many things to say. I also have very little shame these days, so I'm not afraid to say some whack shit, okay? My BF is also a rapper, so I got you. Oh yeah! Patat fell again. Patat said, stick to the pop music. Don't do rap. Felt that lol. No, for real. No, we lost him again. I think he wants to hang out on my hand. He's so cute. Like, look. He's so cute. I found him at Barnes & Noble. So you definitely should, like, totally join us. I need more dragon plushies in my life, for real, dude. I'm obsessed with dragon plushies. I collect them. I started collecting them when I was very small. Some of my favorites are my, what's it called? My Dragonology plushies. I have like the 4 like plushies they released. They released Frost Dragon, Western Dragon, Wyvern, and Asian Lung. You keep dropping that dragon. That's dragon needs to know. I'm sorry, Patat. What if he's running away? That doesn't sound good either, actually. He's just so like lopsy. That's the best word for him. He's like very lopsy, you know what I mean? And it feels like he's kind of missing some like beans, but in like the best way. Like he's missing some beans in the best way. But yeah, my friends, he is the best boy. He is. the cutest. It would be fun to kind of like make skits with him. I'm thinking about it. Just unhinged content that is brain rot, especially the brain rot. You know, because like if the brain rot follows the lines of dragon skits, I could subscribe. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I can't just handle any stupid content, right? If it's themed around dragons, I'm into it, right? Like it's always about the dragons on this channel, okay? And like just because I'm Muslim doesn't change that, okay? We love the dragons, all right? The dragons aren't leaving. I'm not leaving. I still think I'm a dragon. Subscribe if you think that's crazy. But I'm mostly just tired and rambling at this point. Why? Because I can. I have an internet connection and a dragon friend, okay? And a YouTube channel. What a blessing, right? And today, if there's one thing that you take from this stream, is to be like Patat, okay? Be able to sit and observe, because that is what Patat does. That is his superpower, okay? He just is, all right? Patat is just presence. Okay, that's all he, no thoughts in that head, no thoughts, just presence, okay? That is what I'm going to leave you guys with tonight. Be more like Patat, no thoughts, just presence, okay? I don't know what that fully means, okay? It's his world and we're just living in it. You're so right, Avalon. All right, I'm gonna go make some Patat content. I'm feeling very inspired. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see unhinged little beanbag content of our new channel mascot, the Patat. This isn't my channel anymore. I'm going to change the name to Patat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stay the Draconic Priestess Azura DRAGONFAETHER, but Patat is coming for me, okay? And if he's cool enough, maybe he'll get his own channel, okay? Because he is very, very special. And my cat loves him. I have to fight her to not hurt the Patat. He's very special, very precious. Hail, Patat. Hail, Patat. He looks like a potato sack. That's why I named him Patat, by the way. He protect, he attack, he Patat. I've made so many, there's so many opportunities for merch right now, okay? I'm gonna have to go buy a commission from one of the hatchlings to give me some Patat art so we can change the icon at the bottom of the video. Please, yes, I will do it, okay? We will see what we can do. If you have a local Barnes & Noble, maybe they have a Patat, okay? Because everybody needs one. I'm very disappointed that he doesn't have a tail, okay? He needs a tail. So I want to try and do a video where I DIY him a tail. And I also want to make him sweaters, okay? So this might be an ongoing thing, okay? Because you have to understand, I don't make sense when I think things are cute, okay? When you don't understand, okay? Like, logic leaves the chat. He has a tag tail. You right. I hate it, actually. Excuse me while I go cut it off after the stream. I digress. Wait, his tiny little horns. No, I know. Look at him. And they like match his little wings. Like, this guy can't fly. He's just a sack of Patat. This is what I do on my channel at 1 a.m. This is such an unhinged stream. What's happening? Dude, I don't even know, but like, you totally should subscribe if you're new because we always have a blast on here. Actually, you guys, okay, this is so unhinged, but after I get off the stream, I am going to literally go to the Hatchling clan and make Patat his own fan club chat, okay? He is taking over the Hatchling clan, okay? It's 4 a.m. here. I need to sleep. I needed this before work, dude. I needed this desperately. I have been like dealing with so many stupid health issues. Like, I was so mad today because the cramps, like I was cramping so bad I couldn't even pray if I wanted to, okay? Like, for those of you guys who don't know, like when Muslims pray, like we like actually like bend down and like bow down on the floor and put our heads on the floor, and like if you have cramps, forget about it. Like, we're literally commanded by like Allah to not pray as like menstruating human beings. It's like, no, you're not gonna do that, thank you, because you need to rest, girly pop. Like, that's kind of like how it works. Love that. I love that my Lord is looking out for my cramps, okay? So, like, I literally was so sad, like, in the corner of the masjid today, just, like, journaling how much I, like, wanted to pray. Like, it was so sad. But, like, I had Patat with me. And Patat is becoming a celebrity, okay? He's becoming a celebrity at the local masjid. The kids love this little dude, okay? They do. They're like, can I see Patat? I want to see Patat. And I'm just like, yes. Where do you live? I live in LA. Yeah, it's the Shadowlands. Thank God we have masjids though. I've been in this state for my whole life, and never have I ever heard of the masjids. It's not as popular as it is in Canada, right? The masjids in Canada, mashallah, they're beautiful, they're huge. They like, I'll make a video soon of like the, like, I guess when I went to ISNA, the masjid in Canada, to take my shahada in November of 2023, they gave me like a gift box basically that was like a new Muslim starter kit, I guess you could say. And it came with like a prayer mat, it came with a Quran. The Quran that I read here on the channel for Quran class, that's the Quran that they gave me at the masjid. And it came with like some other books, like about Islam. Like one was about like the just like being Muslim. It's like very like general like knowledge, right? And then there was one that's about like the impurities of the heart, which I loved that book. I will do like a review of like these books, right? Do you guys have Sephora in LA? Yes, I want to go there so bad. It's beautiful. I like only get my makeup from Sephora, I'm not gonna lie to you. But yes, we're gonna make Patat his own chat, his own fan club. He deserves it. It will probably be, it'll either be under Fresh Eggs in the Hatchling Clan Discord server, or it'll be under Fresh Eggs, I've decided. Patat deserves his own. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't joined the Hatchling Clan Discord server yet, Patat is losing it, okay? Patat says you have to click the link in the description down below, okay? Join the Hatchling Clan Discord server. Do you have a skincare routine? Yes. It's called, why is it, it's not Nama. Oh goodness. I should honestly make a skincare routine. It's called the Prostration Prayer Posture, if anyone was wondering. Yes, it's in a lot of religions, ranging from Christianity to Islam to Buddhism, etc. Exactly. Even some witches do prostration in their practice. And everybody kind of does it a little differently, you know? But I really love the process. Are you a preppy? Huh? No. What? What does this mean? What does this mean? If you are asking about style, I am so emo, have the blackest soul, okay? I'm not ashamed to admit that, okay? I'm not ashamed to admit that, all right? I had a huge emo phase. The emo phase didn't leave me, all right? The aesthetic just changed a little bit. Unfortunately, people treat you differently depending on how you dress. So there's that, okay? Fun fact, actually really sad fact, but that's the way it is. I'm country and gothic mixture. That sounds awesome. That's like the best of both worlds. That's giving, like, what is that giving? Could you imagine like a gothic cowboy? Is that what you're saying? Because like that's badass. Makeup and skincare, dude, I would love to. I've honestly been thinking about making a second channel that's for just like a diary of sorts of just like my life and like just everyday things. That's like a break from like the religion stuff, because when I post things like that on this channel, it like tanks my algorithm, right? Like YouTube's like, no, okay, nah, right? And I'm like, nah. But I was thinking about making a channel where it's like I post like makeup tutorials, and I post like just commentary, just anything else, right? I've also been considering making an ASMR channel, because when I post it on this channel, it doesn't always do well. And I also need like something, like a creative outlet because the more and more that we move forward in this like economy, if you know what I'm saying, the more and more that like the religious content on this channel will literally get just so much hate. Like, it's just so unfortunate, like so polarizing. Sometimes I get rated too, like when I'm like live or something, and it is a nightmare. And it's just, I'm sure I'm gonna get like hate no matter what I do, but like something about the religious hate hurts me, okay? They stopped arguing, I'm scared. They have reached a consensus. Got to go to bed, have a good night though. Yay, thank you for joining, Laura. Hope you sleep well. Dear Patat, the new channel name. Well, that would be so cute. Could you imagine? He's so cute. I just can't. I literally might go back to Barnes & Noble and buy some more and get him a family because he's that cute. Like, he's that cute, okay? Should I do a Patat giveaway? Should I go to Barnes & Noble and clear them out of their Patats and start a Patat revolution? I feel like this is the dawn of a new era. The Patat is patatting. I feel like things are getting very patatable. It's so crazy to hate on someone's religion so openly. I know, like, and it would only happen on the internet, right? Like, nobody does that to me in person. Although, no, I was approached by some weirdo for wearing the kufiya. They called me a terrorist. That was fun. But other than that, like, no one bothers me in public, to be honest. I got to go to the gym, but this has been so fun. Love you, sister. Yay, Avalon. Thank you for joining your daily dose of Dragon Feather. We will be back with the Patat after this short break. Okay. Anyway, I just don't understand. Do you know what I mean? Why what compels people to like type certain things into their keyboards and hit send? Like do you have no shame? I know I'm a shameless goat, but when it comes to being an asshole, like I fear God. I don't know. Like, I would never intentionally try to say something that hurts somebody or oppresses somebody or makes them feel like they're not worthy of being who they are, ever, because I don't want to disappoint Allah. I want to please my Lord. And that just might be the religion talking, okay? The audacity of people concerns me a lot. Yeah, for real, bestie. Like, really concerning. Like, are you okay? Do I need to call somebody? Because I'm that concerned, okay? And this is why I don't have a lot of friends, like IRL, right? Like, I meet my friends online and then I connect with them in person, and that's how it works, okay? Side note, the only exception to that rule has been like my sisterhood at the masjid. I will never be able to tell you how special it is at this masjid. Like, I don't know if they're all like this, but I just literally gained like a sisterhood overnight, and like I'm still slowly meeting everybody, but like they're asking about my day, they care how I'm doing. What a concept. And I'm just literally like, where has this been all my life? I do not know. And like they have like sleepovers at the masjid and they want me to spend the night for the slumber party. Like, what? I have a family now. Like, huh? Like, I have to be a good example for all my little sisters now. Like, I've never had little sisters. Like, this is new. This is new for me. I'm so glad you found community like this. I'm so intimidated by exploring religion outside the safety of my home, as I'm openly gay in the South. Yeah. And honestly, that is truly my #1 and only issue with the Muslim community. And I'm gonna be like so for real right now. Like, I have really been considering what would happen providing a space for LGBTQ people to learn about Islam. I know that that seems like a lot, but I have had many hatchlings come to me in my DMs telling me that they really, really love, they love God, they love Islam, and the only reason they haven't taken their Shahada is because they are in the LGBTQ community. That's it. It's because they're either gay or they're trans or somewhere in between, they're non-binary, insert whatever, right? And like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the real, like, as much as I love the community that I found, the one thing that really hurts me as a Muslim going to this masjid is the fact that when we go to pray, it's like gender segregated and the women are in the back, and I learn best when I'm able to like listen to someone who's looking at someone who's speaking. So the imam is behind the curtain. I can't even see him when he does the prayer. This really I struggle with, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm gonna be really open about my positive and negative experiences within this religion because I feel like that's only fair, that's only transparent and honest. And you know, I think that that is truly problematic, and it breaks my heart because I know so many more people would find solace in Islam if they simply added another section, right, where it was for like LGBT people. And it's just like, I don't know. I think that we're gonna have to deep dive into that conversation again soon, because I will always stand up for the LGBTQ community, and I want to be able to provide a space where you guys feel safe, and I want to be able to provide a space where you guys can learn about religion, even the religions that may demonize your identity. And at the end of the day, I really truly believe that the way that we treat the LGBTQ community is one of the biggest tests from God in this life. I really believe that, and I believe that every single one of you guys who has faced hatred and suffering and othering and abuse and trauma because you are who you are, if I can see in my heart that you guys deserve the highest levels of paradise for your struggles in this life, I know that simply by reason of Allah being the most merciful, of course his mercy will exceed mine. Of course his mercy will exceed mine. And so if I can think of it, of course my Lord can think of it. And he also knows what I do not know. And that's what I want to focus on in Islam. I feel like sometimes we get a little lost in the sauce of like what is and is not sinful, and we focus on the sinning part of it and we don't focus on his mercy. And the Quran like over and over and over emphasizes that Allah's mercy is always above and superior to his wrath and his punishment, and he is the best of judges and no soul will be wronged. LGBT Muslims exist, and having Muslim allies on our side is so powerful, and I will always be there for you guys. And I hope that inshallah I can help provide a space for the community where they feel safe and they are able to learn and, you know, not feel judged and not feel like they're gonna get snarky comments of like, I just saw a man who looked like a girl. Like, we don't need to be saying things like that. We just don't. And I think that it's just a fundamental lack of education. And you know, I'm also it's not lost on me that like the Quran was delivered 1500 years ago before we had things like hormone replacement therapy, but like LGBTQ people have always existed and will always exist and will continue to exist whether or not you believe they're real. So there's that. Hi Azura, what kind of practice do you do in Muslim church? I don't know anything about it, so interesting to listen to you. Oh, of course. So a Muslim church is called a masjid. It's spelled M-A-S-J-I-D. And most people who speak English will call it a mosque, so you might hear it called that as well. And we do what's called prayer 5 times a day. We call it salah. which just means prayer. And that means that we bow down. If you Google like how to pray as a Muslim or Muslims praying, every single Muslim is gonna pray the same way. That's part of our religion. Is the Ouija board real? Yes, yes it is. I love Ouija boards. Although my fiance asked me to not have one in the house, so we do not have one in the house out of respect to the fiance. But also when it comes to the masjid, we for Ramadan, for example, when I get there, there's a little prayer, there before our prayer, there's like a point where we all like break our fast, and it is recommended to break your fast with a date, because that's what's said in the Quran, you're supposed to break your fast with a date. So we'll have dates, we'll eat other kinds of foods, whatever it is that we catered, and then we'll go into pray, and then we'll do the prayer after we break our fast, where we do what's called rakat, which is just a cycle of praying. So you stand up, you go Allahu Akbar, and then you stand, and then the imam will deliver or recite the Quran in Arabic. The prayer is in Arabic. I'm still memorizing it. It's very hard for my English brain. May Allah make it easy for me. And then after we do that prayer, then we have, we eat with each other, because that's like when we break our fast. So we'll all eat like a giant family, and the food tent is, again, gender segregated. So the men are on the right and the women are on the left. And then I'll go eat with my sisters. They're basically like giant cafeteria tables. And then after that, we go back inside to pray Isha, which is the last prayer of the night. And then we do Tarawih, which is basically where they recite the Quran for 2 hours while you do like sometimes 20 plus rakats. And rakat is just like a cycle of the prayer, right? So you stand, then you put your hands on your knees or your shins, kind of bowed down with a straight back. Then you pull up again with your hands on your thighs, and then you bend down all the way to the floor with your knees on the ground and your head on the ground. Then you pull back up and you sit on your knees like I am right now, with your hands on your thighs again, and then you go back down to the ground with your forehead on the floor, like legs on the floor, and then you stand up and do it again. That's considered a rakat. And then that's pretty much what we do for Ramadan right now. I haven't been feeling well enough to stay for Tarawih, though my fiance loves it, and he sometimes will stay till like the early hours of the morning. Like sometimes, like what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stay at the masjid overnight and then do sahur, which is like the meal before you start fasting, the meal before dawn. So that's going to be like around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And the whole kind of point of a masjid, in the way that it's very different than a church, is that it's considered the house of God, or it's considered Allah's house, and all of the Muslims are able to go there. Everybody, anyone, Muslim or not Muslim, is welcome, in theory. Sometimes a lot of these places will have security. Our masjid has a lot of security, just it's good to have. So sometimes you might get stopped by security, but inshallah they'll let you in, and you're able to stay the night there, you're able to, you know, sleep there, you're able to pray there, and no one's going to disturb you. It's supposed to be a home away from home, and that's something that I've never experienced. Church is not like that. Church was not like that for me. Church was more like school. That was the best way I could describe it, is that like the sermon at church, when we had like, you know, the preacher like delivering like a lesson or whatever, or like reference like something about the Bible, and then like delivering like a message about it in the pews and stuff, like that felt like an auditorium, and like you're listening to a class. And then afterwards you would go back into like your different like classes. So you would either go into like, what's it called, you would go into like, if you were a boy, you would go into like the boys like club, and like you would get taught like in the boys room, and then the girls would go in like the girls room, and like if you were like a toddler, like you'd go in the kids room. It didn't matter your gender when you're young enough. And then like the adults would go in like a different place, and it was like a classroom setting, right? Where like when I go to the masjid, it's very much like I'm at home. That's really all I can explain. if that makes sense. Hey Fatima, welcome, Merry Meet, and Salam Alaikum. Really nice to see you. Really nice to see that you're doing your best to learn. May God make it easier for you. Just notice the nails. It's not permissible. I do pray with them unless you're on your time limit. Yes, so I am on that time of the month, so that's kind of why we got the nails, bestie. Finally joining the live after so long. Yes, Rockstar, I love it. Me and my boyfriends are working with my witchy stuff because one is Christian, the other is Roman Catholic. Ooh, that's fun. I love that. Dragon Con, hello, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Although it's like super early at night, actually. It's like a late in the morning dose of Dragon Feather. I can't believe I'm still awake. I really honestly should go to bed. I've done 2 streams in a row tonight because like the first stream that I was doing tonight like totally got derailed by technical issues in the middle of a reading. It was so awkward. And then we had to jump back on, okay? We had to fix the stream and jump back on, so that's why we're here for this one. But that's kind of like just my experience at the masjid the past, like, just for Ramadan, and I'm really looking forward to Eid. Everybody has been saying that tomorrow's gonna be a really epic day. Like, there was honestly not that many people at the masjid today, but they were saying that a lot of people are gonna be there tomorrow, and we're getting halal Chinese food from Long Beach. I'm like, dude, one of the brothers is driving 3 hours, an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back to get all the food for us tomorrow, and I'm just like, may Allah reward this man, because that is like such a trek and a half, okay? Where did you get that hoodie from? It looks so cool. I actually think we got this hoodie from either H&M or, yeah, it was H&M. H&M or a thrift store, but I'm pretty sure it was H&M. But yeah, dude, so that's been kind of fun. I really missed praying today. I was just like just cramping in the back of the masjid today, journaling about how I wish I could pray. It was so sad. But inshallah, I feel better tomorrow. I'm really hoping that I feel better tomorrow, but we'll see. We never know, okay? Well, we never know. That's also something that I want to say has been really healing for me as somebody who's been like shamed for having a period my whole life. Something about Islam making periods so normal and natural heals me, in the sense that like it's different vibe when like the men can't even question it, because like the Quran commands us to rest on our period, and it just feels like Allah's got my back in that way, that I've never had that experience anywhere else, right? Like, I truly understand why Islam is called a mercy to humanity. I truly understand why so many people hate this religion, because it's such a beautiful religion that unites so many people, that when you just are yourself so authentically and you find something that resonates with you and that makes you feel like almost holy in a sense, like you have to understand how special it is for you to literally like embrace that part of yourself and follow that, like follow your faith. Because had I never followed my faith, I would have never found Islam, I would have never found the dragons, I would have never found magic, I would have never found like any of the other like ancestors, insert anything, like the gods, anything. Like I wouldn't have learned about humanity's different perspective on, what's the word, the afterlife, the unseen, the other world, if you will. And I think it's just really something that we should all focus on, how we're more alike than how we're wrong or how we're sinners, because that's how we get the world we got right now. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that one. Thank you guys so very, very much for tuning in today. It's been so much fun chatting with you. Thanks a lot. I'm so glad to know that you find community and feel at home there. I struggle to find mine. I really hope that you're able to find a home for yourself, because I've been literally struggling my whole life to feel like I belong somewhere, and finally I do feel like I belong somewhere, And mashallah, I don't know what I would do without Islam. I don't know how I survived without Islam. I don't know how I functioned. I don't know how I even made it through the hell that I had to walk without Islam. I truly feel like Allah saw me following in the dark, just trying to find the light, trying to find the truth, trying to find guidance. And he had mercy upon me and guided me to Islam. I really feel that way because, like, I don't know what I would do without it. Like, I just feel so much healthier now. I feel so grounded. And, like, I know when to question my religion, and I know when to take a leap of faith within my religion. And I know to not, like, automatically believe everything I hear from the imam. And the reason why is because, first of all, I grew up in a lot of religious abuse, and second of all, even the Quran states that you have the right to interpret it yourself. So I think that that's really important to talk about. Remember that ultimately your relationship with God is between you and God. However you believe, it's between you and whatever you follow in your life. And people who try to stick their nose in that, people who try to do whatever, make you whatever, like, they're doing it wrong. Just remember that, like, you deserve to exist as you are because you were created as you are. And if you ask me, Allah doesn't make mistakes. So your journey is your journey, and I just want to hear about it. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that you know you're not alone, that you have community, and that if you want to join the hatchlings, you can. The link is down below for the Hatchling Clan Discord server. So thank you guys so much for joining. As always, stay geeky, jiggy, and freaky, little hatchlings. We're gonna go create the Patat fan club chat. Can't wait to see you there. But I'll see you very soon. But until next time, salam and blessed be. Bye. See you soon.